So when you left Yard, how were you gotten out of it? Because you had to kind of sneak out. You had to kind of.
Oh yeah, most definitely. When you leave in Jamaica, it's not like you say, "Hey, I'm getting ready to go to America." Or my mother say, "Hey, I'm taking my kids to America." No, you had to keep everything under hush. You know, where I remember my mom telling me, "Don't tell nobody you're going to America. Don't tell nobody you're leaving." Because once they hear that, that's where the problems come, because it's like crabs in a barrel. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody wants, you know what I mean, the next crab to escape if they still got to be there.
There were some men who were considered to be real badmen that had helped y'all to get to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Why was that necessary?
No, that was necessary because it was set up in like political lines. You know what I mean? And you got to go through the different political parties to, you know what I mean, landscape. Yeah, to get where you need to go. So of course, big shout out to Claude Massop. You know what I mean? But it's just, you had to sneak out under the cover of darkness, man. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like, just like in prison. I learned that when I got in prison. When people get ready to leave prison, that's when people bring problems to them because they don't want them to leave. You understand? When people get ready to leave the island, they bring problems to them. They don't want to leave. So therefore, I helped a lot of people escape prison after they finish serving their time. You understand what I'm saying? Because as they get close to the time, I'm telling them, dude, you can't tell nobody you're getting ready to leave, because he still got life like I got life. I just want the best for you because I'm your friend. But he's not your friend, so he don't want to picture you out there, laying up with a woman or with your kids and all that when he can't touch his never again. You know what I mean? So, that's how it is where, your close-knit friends is the ones that help keep your secret to get you out of there.
Excellent. So now you are in the States, right? Mm-hmm. This is 1972, January 15th, 1972. You're 8 years old.
Mm-hmm. And I'm turning 8. I turned 8 in May.
Right.
Yes.
So you and your siblings, y'all come to the United States and you arrive in New York City?
Yeah, we arrived at Kennedy Airport, but my mother and father had a house. Well, not a house. They had a 1-bedroom and apartment in Hackensack, New Jersey. You know what I mean? So that's where we went first. But all my family, the Garveys, Aunt Vita, Aunt Love, big shout out to Sandra, at the Farmers, that's my family members. They were still living in Brooklyn, like on Pitkin Avenue, and you know what I mean, in different parts of Brooklyn. But my mother and father, when my mother came up on her visa, she went to like Somerset, New Jersey to live with a white woman that, she was a caretaker for. So that's how we wound up there, because they had visas, for the, women back then, like how now they got the work visas where Jamaican men come up to pick oranges in Florida for the summer and then they go back down, But my mother came up on a full visa to take care of a white woman's family in New Jersey. And from that's how she got to the Jersey area. But my other family members came up and went to Brooklyn. So those are the ones that I used to go visit from I was 8 years old. On Sunday, your parents take you to visit your family members you ain't seen from Jamaica. And then when you go over there, you get to see what's going on. Like I had an aunt, Aunt Vita, that's Sandra's mother, right? Aunt Vita used to, she lived on Pitkin Avenue. She used to lock us in the apartment. You know what I mean? Had like a deadbolt lock. So when you go over there, she locked you in when you couldn't even leave the house. And I used to always tell her, I'm not trying to go to Aunt Vita. You can't even leave the damn house. And she had a train went right over her head every night, like every 10 minutes. You understand what I'm saying? So all we could do was look out the window of the train. But then we had other cousins, that their parents was more lenient. Aunt Vita was really into the Christianity. So when you go over there now, in the daytime, you go out and you're mixing with the people on the streets in Brooklyn and, family members, you go visit them and they got herb gates. So now you go visit a family member at 8, 9 years old and you sitting down, they chopping up weed and weighing up weed and people ringing the doorbell to come get it. And you see the big cutlass and the gun over here and the gun over there and you 8 years old and they doing them. And before you leave, they push a little $100 in your pocket. And I'm talking about a time when a Cadillac was like $6,000. So to get $100 in your pocket and, somebody putting it's like, man, I want to be like him the same way I feel good getting 100. You know what I mean? I want my people to feel good getting 100,
Right. So you come into this environment, you're coming out of a unstable environment back in Yard. You haven't been exposed to a lot of things. So this is all looking real normal to you. When do you start to, because you're only 8, so when do you start to actually do your do your thing, start moving around the street, doing a little.
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you. When you go visit your family members, they run in herb gates and they got to go pick up weed. They take you with them. They got to pick up the manila envelopes, or you know what I mean? They take you with them, and you're really being trained, but don't even know it. You're just spending time with the family, but the family don't realize that they training you. You know what I mean?
That's
so they,
right.
They take me to the corner store, and I remember we used to go down to now that in the 80s when crack came out, they started having the smoke shops, where you go buy the bags and glassine bags and all that from a smoke shop.
Yep.
But, my cousins and them, they used to go down to like 28th Street to go buy boxes of it for like $2 for a box of 500 tray bags. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And found the cheapest way to buy it, because you're bagging up a pound and you might get, 2,000 tray bags that you got to bag up in a day off a couple of pounds. You know what I mean? So instead of going to the corner store, where they were selling them at to buy it for that, they found out where they was getting it and they went and got it from them. Now they taking me down there. So I'm seeing that you bypass, the corner store. You understand what I'm saying? And you go down to where the Connect is at. You understand what I'm saying?
How old are you?
I'm just 8, 9 years old, but I'm seeing how they doing that with just the bags of weed. So as they doing that, I'm watching, and I equated that to when I started hustling, that I don't need to go up to 145th Street to go buy an ounce of crack or crack by the grams. You know what I mean? I want to go get it from the Colombian that's getting it. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for a connect, because my cousins
You're
and
looking
them,
for a connect at how old now?
No, I'm bouncing back and forth to equate the two that what shaped me. You know what I mean? Like I said, from watching them buy the bags of weed, you understand? When I'm 7, 8 years old, bypassing the corner store in Brooklyn to take the train with me all the way downtown to 28th Street to go buy a big bag of boxes, and they explaining to me that they want too much at the corner. You understand what I'm saying? So we come down here and we buy a garbage bag of it. You know what I mean? And we do what we got to do. So just from that, like I said, when I started, buying the crack, I started getting the crack vials from downtown instead of from 158th Street corner, crack spot.
All right. So when did you start buying the crack?
The coke?
Yeah, when you start buying it?
Oh, man. I was buying the coke from like 14, 15. You know what I mean? I say about like 76, 75, 76. You know what I mean? That's when we was going up, and you from up that area. We was going up to 156th Street. I know you from 57th, but we had
115, but I lived on 57.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, all my people's from 157th Street, I'm saying.
Yep,
big shout out to Wani, Tony, Mommy, the whole family. You already know. Chocolate.
Yep.
But, we had 158th Street that was a major coke block then.
Yeah, between Broadway and Amsterdam.
Exactly. And we also had 163rd Street, again, between Broadway and Amsterdam. But then you had the base houses that was like on 156th Street, 157th, a base houses where, the people that was free basing was at. This before crack. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And big shout out to Nanny. You know what I mean? But that's where all that was at. So from back then, we was buying coke, because I was buying coke to take it back to Brooklyn to sell it in big shout out to Buck Dance. You know what I mean? People watching this, they know what I'm talking about. It's factual. I'm talking over there between Schenectady, between Sterling and Park. You know what I mean? It was a pool hall over there. We were selling the little glassine bags. We're selling the little glassine bags of heroin, is what my cousin them was selling. But that's because everybody was into the heroin. We're talking about the late 70s, you know what I mean? Early 80s. So they into the heroin. So I used to go uptown to 158th Street, 163rd Street, and I buy cocaine and bring it back and, bag it up in little $10 glassine vials, because, the Americans started speedballing,
Right.
So that's where we at.